Hi Leo. Uh, this is going to be your Pisces period Taroscope, and just a quick intro. I'm doing something a little bit different. As you see, there are lots of cards over here on the table. So what we are going to do, we are going to compare four different things. We're going to compare tarot reading with Gypsy cards reading, with Lenormand card reading, with Oracle cards. And the beauty of that is like that all of them are giving some information, and since now there are more and more people on the channel, more stories are happening, and this is going to detect more of the stories that can be happening, and you will know which one is yours. So also, I don't know if you know that sort of like there is a competition between the signs going on, and the sign that has the most likes and subscribes and shares and views is the one who's getting this basically forecast before. So let's say if they are due on 19th of 20th, you can get it 2-3 days before. Same thing with weeklies. Weeklies are due on Wednesday. So if you guys really want to have it faster, then you go and comment and like, and then I release it the day or two before. Last week, Aries took a swipe at the win, and Scorpio really gave them a run for their money. So, enough said. Let's go to what is in the store for Leo. Well, Leo, it was really interesting to see the base cards over here for you. Two inverse cards. One was the moon inverse. So which means there's still some hidden things, but sort of like they're coming to the daylight. They're getting there. You kind of like are tired of secrets. And second one is my favorite card in any tarot deck, in this one in really particular. Look at this pretty kitty. Look at the dreams of this kitty. Like, can this portray, can any other star card portray more of a hope? Can this be nicer than this? Then why is it, Leo, that you're not hoping to become this little lion here in the stars? What's wrong? That you're feeling a little bit energyless? Something is happening, and yet, if I look here in the central issue, you actually sort of feel happy. So that's on the surface. Like there is emotional kind of like surrounding of a family and nourishment, but somehow deeply you feel maybe big picture is somehow, let's say violated. Something happened, and yet, you're trying to be the real lion and lioness, and you don't mind playing with fire a little bit. I don't know if you can see this kitty. Look at this little tail is smoking over here, and the kitty is playing with fire over here, right? Look at that. That kind of like would be with that lion. So you are basically testing the waters, kind of being a little bit mischievous. That's kind of like really nice. The base, Nine of C reversed. So what do we see here? We see Happy Kitty dreaming about the children, dreaming about mice, dreaming about birds, dreaming about all this kind of treats, this is kind of like, can it be better than that? Like, look at that. This is like all the best. So now you have 10 of C here, and then you have 9 of C, which is a wish card. This wish card is like inversed, which is not to say that the happiness is not here. It's just like you feel that you need to work for it a little bit. So let's figure it out why. In the past, you left a C tone. So I'm seeing here lots of actually emotional cards. You're a sign of passion, and as a sign of a passion, like I would expect, lots of fire coming out. But in your case, lots of C is coming out, which kind of isn't in tune with many other signs. That sort of like we are all dealing with elements that is not our natural element. And hence, I think we're enhancing our personalities because we're building blocks of better understanding. So in your past, and the skills that you obtain is basically a C-tone. And it's a kind of like somebody who somehow, or that could be you, that you didn't speak up, and you didn't really portray this messages. Somebody was holding it back, or you expected a message from somebody and it didn't happen. You in fact are still expecting this message. Now we have Earth Kitten over here, and you see here, like, I mean, this is basically trying to look for a company of somebody who is really not like you, but somebody who actually still would make a good company, because, you know, it's kind of exploratory thing for you, and trying to find all these earthy things and what can be, you know, a good thing to try. But like somehow here, you are a little bit hesitant to kind of like try different things. Somehow like you are staying aside. So what is your lesson for this month? You have the Hermit. So whatever happened in the past, you kind of like feel that you need to process things, that you need to wise up. Why? We are going to find out from the other spreads, but like sort of like this is your state of mind, and connected with these two major arcanas that we see. So 1, 2, 3 major arcanas. Do we have more? No. And this is like Ace, so that's almost half. So 3.5 out of 12. So some things, some deep things will come to the surface. So what do you feel? 5 of Sky. My famous cards. Look what's happening here. You have a Sky Clan cats, and they actually sort of like are turning on the poor Sphinx cat. Why? Because Sphinx cat is a little different. And sky cats are sort of a different types of the cats. They're outcasts. They're like sort of independent. They're like, I mean, thrown from all the other basically clans, and they are forming their own clan. And they're very bright. They're very smart, but they're also extremely fierce and extremely independent. So every stranger is sort of like being scrutinized, and they have to find really, really good way to kind of like sell themselves to this clan. Otherwise, the clan is going to group and gather against them. So maybe for now, this kitty would actually need to step aside and kind of go with his way. And kind of like the other cats are just managing and succeeding in bullying him. But since you got this card in reverse, that basically tells me that you've been through the grinder, and maybe you have been bullied, but right now they are just like leftovers of it. But you're still emotionally dealing with that. Something did happen that kind of like upset your balance. And this is probably why you are not feeling completely happy, even though like people around you are supportive, and that's maybe why you're sort of like going in a hermit and a little bit hopeless. Something happened. So it was lots of things that was happening, that was coming down on you really fast. Lots of things up in the air. 8 of Fire. Here like we have this like famous kitty cat that, you know, in the middle of nothing, you just hear them running around the place, and it's like just going all crazy, and everything is falling apart, and the other kitty cats just love to kind of like check to see what's going on. But there is emotion. There's lots of things happening. This can also mean arrows of love. This can mean like sort of like something fast and furious coming down on you. But in your case, it's this way, which means this will be delayed. And hello, Safi. We're going to get a visitor right now. Yes. Yes, say hi. Say hi. Do you like Leos? That's nice, but can you please leave the reading? Can we take you off the table, pretty please? Sapphire. Are you pretty? Are you the prettiest? Do you want to be a lion? Do you want to be a lion? Do you want to be a lion? Huh? You want to be a lion? You want to be a lion? Lion? Whoops. Hey guys, sorry about that. Like, I mean, I like my Siamese, Blue Point Siamese, to kind of not to have restrictions. I really want to see what happens to a kitty, that everything is explained, and I think we almost have a little kind of vocabulary going on here, where she kind of understands the basic things like BIRDS. She understands that word. She understands BUG. And if I just mention it, it will be like flying all over the place. So anyway, let's go back. We were talking about this kitty, kind of like it's still going to be something fast, but with a slight delay. And like you are expecting something happening, or you're focused on to some kind of like accomplishments over here, but yet it's still kind of in the works. Here we are dealing with Fire King. So, well, this is fire. This is like your element, but this is like now in a position of hopes and fears. So it is inversed. This could be somebody married. It could be that you're dealing with somebody who is in a relationship. It could be that you're dealing with someone who you're not clear about it. It could be just simply personality, that there is like somebody who currently is overly indulgent, who he can be an overkill, somebody who had on the surface everything and yet kind of turned out to be disappointing. This could be even you, that somehow on some level you're disappointing yourself, and they're looking how to fix it, how to get that charisma, how to get upright, that charismatic king that everybody wants to follow, sort of like king of the hill. So that's something that you need to really overcome, and that's going to be relatively easy for you because you are a fire sign. But what do we have here? Interestingly enough, let me start with where we started. We started with 10 of C, so it is 10. And then we had 9 of C. There are 2 completion cards, right? So then 8 was very close to completion over here. But now, to end the whole round is like Ace of Sky, but inversed. And this talks about truth not to be told. So I think to overcome and reverse this king, you will need to work this month to get this hope back that you have in these base cards and lift the fog. And you're probably doing that through the lesson that is kind of like going deep inside. And I was telling you about the Sky Clans. Sky Clan class are very independent, and this is their flag. And to go into this clan, you have to be extremely fierce. You have to be to the point. So here, you're still not in the clan. Still, you have to go through the flag and through the gateway. And that's what you're dealing with. But it's number 1. It's the beginning. So you guys are dealing with things, starting, working through it, dealing with it, and it's going to be kind of emotional. At some point, it's going to feel that you're going to that end, but at some other point, it's going to look like you're progressing. So just keep plugging away through your month. And so now we're going to go to the Gypsy spread and see what we can kind of merge it with that spread and obtain more information. Okay, so let's see what basically we are learning here. Before I get here, this is the love card that I drew for you. It says, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. So, what are the red flags? I'm just looking back to your tarot spread. I think it might be not to make hasty decisions. Here, not to allow yourself to be bullied anymore and stand up to the bullies. And the red flags would be, do not give up hope. You need to become hopeful. And I actually like this card reverse because it means the night is going to soon kind of like fade away, and you guys going to kind of like see things. So they're not going to just have the appearance. So I think from this side, this is what we covered with this. But now let's see what this spread does. Kind of like how this works, because this is the first time I'm doing this for you guys. And I usually do it only in private readings in the 40 minutes because it's really extensive. Right now, because there are so many energies from so many of you, there'll be different stories. If you are coming for a private reading, we will know exactly which story you are, and then we will go with that one. So the entire basically spread is based on a few characters. So there is like, sweetheart, This could be you. It's a single woman or somebody who is currently on the market or dating someone. Then you have a young woman. Then you have Lord. Then you have Lover. And then I think it should be Wife. So you have to figure out which one of these roles is your role. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little story and what basically they're bringing to the table and what's going to happen to them. And that way, I guess you're going to recognize it better. So the very first one, Sweetheart, did just recently reunited with someone. So that was like tough decision because it was, it was an issue if they were really friends or if something was taken away, and it's not as it was before, but at the same time it's kind of better in different ways. It's kind of like you're wiser, you are making sure that you don't jeopardize this fortune anymore, and you renegotiated the terms that you had with this guy, or maybe it wasn't a breakup, it was just simply renegotiation. And there is some thoughts that is crossing about possibility of the wedding, but this is still just at a crossroads. So you also at present are currently kind of really spending time with family. And see this card? It was also the family card. And are a little bit more rigid about how you basically want to approach this whole affair kind of a thing. It's not going to be just, kind of use them and lose them overnight. So you really want to be of service to them and them of service to you. You want really a gentleman. You want somebody who will be opening doors for you, or, if you're a guy, you actually want a woman that you can actually do this to, who's going to be a real lady. And this is the kind of love you absolutely want. And with that kind of love, you would consider wedding. So literally, you are defining for yourself what kind of things you want. And this goes back here. So the definition was probably made. So now we kind of are getting this answer. But you still didn't establish it entirely. You're still kind of building it. So what is also happening here in the future? This woman progressing in the future, she will be continuing being wise. And, continue kind of like upgrade herself on a number of things. However, there is another woman on the path, and so now we have the guy that she might be going toward, and there is this young woman, and there is a woman who can be a divorcee. So it could be that somehow in between you and him, it could be his ex and the ex's child, but there is something going on, because he certainly is very hopeful about the two of you. And it's not the wife, because wife is over here, so it's absolutely somebody already in the past. But here we have him with the hope, and here we have him trying to start something new and messages, and he's a little bit kind of like concerned that you will be upset with this whole situation. So if it's not somebody's, ex-family, it could be some other people that you feel are barrier. This can also represent his work that you feel is kind of like barrier to two of you, because we have here a scholar. So for this woman here, you Leo princess, this is relatively okay path, because nothing is like smooth sailing, right? So from the past, you came in with maybe playful attitude. It was kind of fortunate, and maybe it was something sexual, but this is obviously kind of developing in something more firm and grounded for you, and that's how you want it. So as far as this whole trio over here, hey Saf, please, no, you already disturbed Leo's reading. Okay, stay there. Okay. So as far as this guy here and this kind of trio, there is interesting thing, because there is another one, Lover. So this could be just like one is younger, one is older. The one that is like younger, so these two versions are connected. It looks like it's almost the same person. Let's see the guy kind of like having kind of maybe some growth is made, and kind of like you go with that. Safi, let's go down. Come on, let's go down, 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 please, 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 please. No, the kitty wants to play, so that's what happens, you know. And I think, you know, you guys obviously know that, because in this kitty also wants to play, and even though if she gets burned or her tail gets burned, so I think you can understand what's happening here. So anyway, let me see the situation. The situation is like kind of sad for both of these women. Here I have sorrow, and here I have like doubled up messages. And there was some kind of disaster and extremely kind of like bad health situation that kind of like was maybe even addressed. It could be literal prison, or it could be just like, I mean, that kind of like it was some kind of feeling of prison. And actually, in this case, funny enough, it almost looks like real prison, or like some mental anguish, right? Because it looks like it could have been divorced. See, this is the wife. Maybe you're a divorcee who kind of like have that in the past, because we have a priest and a death and a widower, and widower also represents divorcee, and then we have a divorcee over here. And yet, it's not any kind of harm to this wife, because that's kind of in her past. And also in her past is like also the feelings of love, of the friendship, of the joy. So, come on, Kitty. Come on. Sorry, I have to put her down because she's not here. Sorry about that. She really wants to participate, but you know, that's really, really good news. So this is kind of interesting, because you see, here we have sorrow, here we have melody, here we have prison, and here we have conversations. And yet we have gift and loyalty over here. So, and yet he's like also so kind of like directed toward this young woman. And there is another guy who kind of like also oversees both of these women, and it's kind of involved into whole this thing with messages, and you know, some kind of misfortune, or luckily that was like end of misfortune, because this love is kind of like developed from this misfortune, from some communication. Could be also that you maybe have the fire in the house and you got some kind of settlement, and then moving ahead and you're still kind of sad. It could be something as traumatic as that. But it could be like also that this is one guy who is right now trying to clean the whole thing and be with his sweetheart. It could be just like his ex-family. So this other guy, he kind of like looks like it's a younger lover. So if it's you, a Leo guy, or if you're looking for a younger guy, he has his eyes on you, and or you have an eye on some girl already. You really want to shower her with gifts. That guy is going to be really generous and loyal, and he will have a touch of frivolity in him. So forgive him about that, because you will even sometimes question his loyalty, and you will wonder if he is a friend or an enemy, and if this is kind of like a relationship that serves you well, because he also has some kind of limitations over here. But how you resolve it with this guy, you know, you resolve it with conversations and kind of clearing out everything. And this guy is going to be pretty good in explaining it. Kind of, he's a straight shooter and there is no problem. This woman is not a straight shooter, however, because she's been going through some things, from pain to feeling limited to feeling inadequate, and maybe even dealing with people who were not exactly her friends. And yeah, this could be the same person, just like appearing twice, because here is like a divorced woman who's like now maybe taking care of her child, and there is this wife or a girlfriend over here who kind of like also dealt, well, that was like a death of the marriage, so it's a divorced woman over here as well. And but this doesn't have to be like immediately recent thing, because she also right now in her present she has life, really nice one. She has love, she has friends, she has good friends and kind of like nice parties, but she also has people who are foes. She has, you know, the other kind of like some longing for something better in her life, sort of like a guy. And let me see, and she right now has nobody in sight. because right now, like, the heart connections will be still kind of like dealing with some leftovers from the past. So I'm really wondering if that's what basically this is all about. That we have that, and then we have this, that we have to go inside and kind of look at it. So it looks like that one of you is going to have a relatively good path. The issue will be dealing with, this ex-family or something in between. So again, pay attention to red flags. And it's going to be lucky, and you kind of like came from relatively kind of like calm last month, etc. Another one is going to be a wife or a divorced woman, or maybe you have been divorced previously and now you're married. So you basically have to deal with people you surround yourself with, because really question who are your friends and who are not. In fact, the person who appears to be the most observant to you might be the person who is going to be a real gem, who will basically be a gift in disguise and who will help you heal or go through issues that you currently have. Then we have this lover here, who is actually a straight shooter. He already kind of like has his pick. And if you're this young lady who is basically looking at him, then he's coming out. He wants to like basically open up, like has conversation, tell you about the issues. And he is currently going through a slight, illness or something. Just could be weakness. But he is looking forward to new beginnings, to celebrations, to hope, and to messages. So you're going to hear it from this guy. The storyline that basically he has in the future is connecting to this woman as well. But it could be just simply that they are going to just cross paths at some point. It doesn't mean that they actually need to know each other. So it's relatively nice situation over here. I don't see third party. I see that people are trying to clear that issues, etc. So as the last thing, what I'm going to do, I am going to one more spread. So how this works, or how it worked before the kitty started to shuffle the cards, is that we are going to have a guy and the lady. So for the lady, if you're the lady, you're going to look what's happening for you in your life, and for a guy, you're going to see what's happening in his life. And then we are going to compare and see what are the best paths and what you need to overcome and how to overcome. Right, Sapphire? Safi, do you like Leo horoscope? Is that your favorite? Why? Are those lioness pretty? You see? You see? Are you a little lioness? No, you're Aquarius. Good girl. Now kind of get lost, okay? Come on, let me finish this. Yeah, okay. We got rid of the little nuisance. So I also put the spread in the meantime, so you don't have to, again, wait for this. So again, what I was saying, if you're the lady, you're going to describe, things that are going to be central for you this month. And then you're going to describe what is like for this guy. If you're a guy, this is going to be you, etc. But also keep in mind, this can also flip. The gender is not so much important. So, ladies, you might be really this month thinking about your job and starting something new, and you're really wondering, between the two things, and you want to see which one is going to bring a better financial luck, and to which one you can be more loyal, and from which one you think you're going to resonate better. However, on the love kind of horizon, you actually are looking for some kind of communication, and you are also looking for reunion, as we've seen in the cards over here, or this could be a trip to kind of like some winter kind of environment, or this could be just like somebody older, somebody with possibly, salt and pepper, or basically white or gray hair. So ladies, you're going to look like for your own kind of, security. And I think that's that fire king here. Looking at your security and charisma, and that's where you're coming from. And also you have here Earth Kitten that are also kind of down to earth kind of things that you need to and want to kind of like maintain. As far as for this gentleman, the interesting part is that currently he's really, this guy's doing okay. And he somehow feels remorse over something. It could be that guy who's like taking care of these two women. Because what I see over here, I see that he's making sure that his reputation is intact, that he is taking care of the close ones, even at the cost, and even at the cost of nagging. He does have love in his heart, and he wants to communicate it, but the downfall here is that he feels that some people are interfering into his intentions, and this is his cross to bear, literally. So because of that interference, that is like not completely clear path, he kind of like has a little kind of fogginess. But a good part is like the clouds are on that side, and the clear side is over here. So that's a great news for the heart. So it's going to be, you can fly high with that. So ladies, this guy is going to be there for you, but keep in mind that he's just like human. He has his issues. So kind of do that and tolerate that a little bit more, So maybe this is where this is coming from. The truth is not being told. Maybe he's not ready to say this entire truth. So see now how we actually putting 3 spreads, and we are kind of getting this continuous and more detailed information. So Leo, I hope you like your readings. Again, could you please subscribe and like? That way you know in your inbox when you get it. Wednesdays you get weeklies. And until then, I love you.